What if I told you that in a stadium filled with over 100,000 voices, one single voice still managed to rise above all of them and somehow make every person feel like they were the only one there? Because what happened in Goyang wasn't just a concert, it was something deeper. Something you don't just watch, you feel. And at the center of it all was Kim Seokjin. Let's slow this down for a second. 3 nights, 1 stage, over 132,000 fans, and a level of pressure that would break most performers. But Jin, he didn't just handle it, he owned it. From the very first moment he stepped onto that stage during the BTS World Tour Arirang in Goyang, something shifted. There was this electricity in the air, the kind that makes your heart race before anything even begins. And then he sang. Not just notes, not just lyrics, but emotions that felt almost too real. His voice, clear, silver, impossibly stable, cut through the noise like it was effortless. No cracks, no hesitation, just control, pure, unwavering control. They call him Vocal King. But watching him live, it feels like you're witnessing something beyond technique. It's storytelling, it's vulnerability, it's power wrapped in softness. And then there's the visuals. Because let's be honest, Jin doesn't just look good. He commands attention in a way that feels almost unreal. Every camera angle, perfect. Every expression, intentional. Every second, unforgettable. But here's the part that people can't stop talking about. The moment everything changed. The performance of Like Animals. This wasn't just another song in the set list. This was the moment. The one that sent shockwaves through the stadium and across the entire internet. Because the second Jin stepped into that performance, something about him felt different, darker, sharper, more intense. And when he sang, it didn't just sound beautiful, it sounded dangerous, hypnotic, like it was pulling you closer without asking for permission. That's when it happened. Fans didn't just react, they named it Siren Jin. And suddenly, it made sense, because just like a siren, you don't just hear him. You're drawn to him, completely, irresistibly. Within minutes, Siren Jin on stage was trending worldwide. Not locally, not regionally, globally, because people weren't just watching a performance, they were witnessing a moment they knew they wouldn't forget. But here's what makes this even more emotional, even more real. Behind the flawless vocals, behind the intense stage presence, behind the overwhelming cheers, there was a man who was tired, who had just given everything for 3 straight nights, who had every reason to step back, rest, and disappear for a while, but he didn't. Instead, in the quiet early hours, he went on to Weverse and he wrote something simple, something small, but something that meant everything. I was so happy thanks to ARMY. I hope you were happy too. Thank you so much. No filters, no performance, no stage lights, just Jin. And somehow, that message hit harder than any high note, because it revealed something that the stage couldn't fully show. That everything he did, every note he perfected, every movement he practiced, every ounce of energy he gave, it wasn't just for the performance. It was for them. And even during the concert, you could see it. The way he kept looking into the crowd, the way he responded to fans, the way he never let the energy drop, even when exhaustion should have taken over. He wasn't just performing at the audience, he was performing with them, building something together in real time. A connection that felt personal, even in a stadium that massive. And just when you think, okay, this is the peak, this is the moment, it gets bigger. Because BTS isn't stopping here, not even close. Next, they take that same energy to Tokyo Dome, April 17th and 18th, a stage known for legends. And now, Jin is walking into it at his absolute peak. But the moment that's already making fans emotional is what comes after. A return to Busan June 12th and 13th, at the Busan Asiad main stadium. And if you know, you know. Because this isn't just another stop on the tour. This is the place tied to one of their last concerts before everything changed. Before enlistment, before the pause, before the silence. And now, they're coming back. As a full group, stronger, louder, together again. And June 13th, that's not just a concert date, that's their debut anniversary, the day everything began. So imagine this, standing in that stadium, on that date, watching them perform again. It's not just music anymore. It's history, it's closure, it's a new beginning happening at the same time. From Goyang's explosive nights, to Busan's deeply symbolic return to 85 shows across 34 cities around the world. This isn't just a world tour. This is a legacy in motion. And at the center of it all, Jin, not just as a performer, not just as a visual, not just as a vocalist, but as someone who can stand in front of thousands, sing one line, and make it feel like it was meant just for you. And maybe that's the real reason people can't look away right now. Because in a world full of noise, Jin doesn't just get louder, he gets closer.